Welcome back to Newsmax Now. I'm John Bachman. It's good to have you with us this evening. Today was the deadline for the DOJ to turn over those sensitive documents of the FBI's handling of investigations during the 2016 election. The DOJ has resisted House subpoenas and requests thus far, warning that it could compromise sources and methods used in the Hillary Clinton email investigation as well as the Trump-Russia probe. House leaders are pushing back, saying that they need to see these documents in order to get to the truth. We'll talk to Newsmax chief political columnist John Bachman about all that in just a moment. But we really want to start tonight with the economy, Trump's economy.
Our economic policy can be summed up in three very simple but beautiful words: jobs, jobs, jobs.
Those were the president's comments last night at a rally in Montana, preceded by a better-than-expected jobs report released just today. According to the Labor Department, the U.S. economy added 213,000 jobs last month. The number of employed Americans now stands at over 155.5 million. That's the highest number so far during the Trump presidency. President Trump tweeted this in response to the jobs report today. Jobs, jobs, jobs. The economy has added more than 3.2 million jobs since Trump took office and 3.7 million since the 2016 election. Who better than to weigh in on this renowned economist and father of supply-side economics, Art Laffer. He was an economic advisor to President Reagan and joins us now on the phone. Art, great to have you with us.
Thank you very much, John. It's good to be with you.
What is your reaction to this jobs report?
I'm exceptionally pleased by one number in there, and that's the increase in the number of people in the labor force. That is really, really exciting to me. You know, the unemployment rate really can't get much lower. I mean, when you're at 3.8 or 4%, you don't have a huge way to go like you do at the end of a recession. But what you have here is the participation rate in the United States has dropped dramatically in the last years and you know, has not shown any signs to bounce back up again. Well, this is the first sign I've seen where that participation rate is bouncing back up, and it's bouncing back up quite substantially. That increase, the increase this month, is a 4.4% annualized increase, which is one heck of a big increase. If you think the population, adult population of the U.S. is growing at maybe 1% a year, that's a good number to grab. This means that people are coming out of the population who had not been looking for jobs and now have decided to look for jobs because the labor market is so damn good. And that is really exciting, John, and I couldn't be more pleased.
And that's why economists like yourself say it's actually a good thing that the unemployment rate ticked up to 4% from 3.8%. That's what it was in May. That's because there are more people who had been on the sidelines thinking, I can't find a job that fits my skill level or my pay, so I'm not going to actually be part of the job market. But these are the people now getting back in the job market because they think now is the best time to get a new job, correct?
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think any economist would want to see the unemployment rate pop back up again a little bit. But it's tolerable. This increase in the unemployment rate from 3.8 to 4% is quite tolerable given the huge increase in the labor force. It's just really super what's going on. And, you know, I just couldn't be happier. You know, we had a nice increase in the number of jobs, 213,000. That's not out of the park big, but it's a nice increase. But, boy, that increase in the labor force is what we've needed for a long time.
There is one area where I think a lot of workers would like to see better numbers, and that's when it comes to wages. Hourly wages rising a modest 5 cents, but the yearly rate of pay basically was unchanged. As the labor pool shrinks, do you think this will actually start forcing companies to raise their wages significantly? Because this is one area where we haven't really seen a lot of growth.
Yeah, now remember, you're talking pre-tax wages. That's what these things look at. They don't look at after-tax wages. And with Trump's tax bill and the deregulations and all of that stuff that have occurred, these wage increases that you're seeing, which I think it was year over year, is 2.7%, something like that. I mean, that's a very significant when you realize the tax rate on that was a lot higher a year ago than it is now, and the regulations were a lot higher then than they are now. So you've got real honest-to-God increases in take-home pay that's really, really attractive. Now, I expect those numbers to get quite a bit larger as the year goes on and we well into next year. But those are awfully good numbers, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, after-tax numbers are pretty good.
All right, I want to take a look at something that Nancy Pelosi released today in response to this June jobs report. Oh, we got to get the opposition side in here. I want to get your take on it, Art, here. So take a listen to this.
Just the goofball side.
The resistance, the opposition, whatever you want to call it here. This is from Pelosi. June jobs numbers show what is at stake from the brewing storm of rising health costs, spiraling trade uncertainty, and an economy being hollowed out to enrich big corporations and the wealthiest 1%. She goes on to say, quote, "The American people deserve so much better than the raw deal they are getting from the cynical Republican special interest agenda. Democrats know that the American people deserve a better deal with better jobs, better wages, and a better future." That's her tagline there, a better deal. That's what Democrats are going with. But Art, go ahead, respond to what Nancy Pelosi had to say.
I don't know if I can respond to that. You know, the workers are getting a pretty good deal here. I mean, you're seeing the employment numbers going way up. You're seeing the participation rate rising substantially. You're seeing wage increases happening there. I mean, you know, look, we all want it to be more than that, but boy, don't think that's not great stuff, by the way. It's great stuff, and it's only going to last and last and last. And that's what I'm excited about. And I expected Nancy Pelosi to say nasty things. That's what she does. And when she was she said nothing but nice things. Now she says nothing but nasty things. But I guess that's what political people are supposed to do. But
that's what they do. That was a very, very canned response you'd expect from the leader of the opposition party. Now, Art, I want to talk about these tariffs a little bit before we wrap up here. U.S. and China, perhaps in a trade war, if you listen to some people. President Trump's 25% tariff on $34 billion worth of Chinese imports took effect today. China has retaliated, launching what Beijing calls the, quote, biggest trade war in economic history. Here are some of the U.S. products China is targeting: soybeans, beef, chicken, whiskey, etc. But President Trump is still confident the U.S. can win this trade war.
I respect China and I respect President Xi, but they've been killing us. $507 billion in trade deficits last year. 507. Who the hell can lose 500? Then you want to do something about it, you get attacked. Oh, that's not nice. That's not free trade. The war was lost on trade many years ago. You know, when they were saying not a free trader, I said, no, the war was lost. But now we're going to win it. And because we have all the cards.
Now, Art, had the trade war already started a long time ago and we were losing, and this is going to change everything?
I don't use those words to myself. I'm an economist, and I'm not in an audience there in a big place in Montana or wherever. But let me just say that President Trump is doing a very good job in the economy. He has told me personally that he's a free trader. I believe it totally. Anyone who ran an international business understands the power of free trade. He is using these tariffs and these retaliatory measures for negotiation positions in order to get them to lower their tariffs on U.S. products and to move towards free trade. If you'll remember, when he left the G7, he said, look, I'm willing to, right today, cut all U.S. tariffs to the world, not just for the U.S. And I just love what he's doing here, and I hope it doesn't end in a war, because if it ends in a trade war, that would be a huge catastrophic problem. But I don't expect that to happen. And he doesn't expect it to happen, and he doesn't want it to happen either.
All right. From Art Lather's lips to your ears, we are not in a trade war yet, but we'll see what happens. Art, thanks so much for being here.